Join me on a tour of this truly unique place. Not just a coastal temple, but a site filled with deep spiritual energy, history, and ancient legends. Welcome to Tanah Lot in Bali, Indonesia. At high tide, the rock formation the temple stands on is completely surrounded by the ocean, making it look like it's floating on the waves. Tanah Lot is part of a system of 7 sea temples, strategically built along Bali's coastline so that each temple is visible from the next, creating symbolic and spiritual protection against negative forces coming from the ocean. The temple dates back to the 16th century and is associated with the Hindu priest, Nirartha, who chose this location because of its strong spiritual energy and the light emerging from the sea. Tourists cannot enter the temple itself, only worshippers, but the area is large, with plenty of space to walk around. Tourists most often visit at sunset, but that's also when it's at its most crowded. If you want to avoid the crowds, come as early in the morning as possible. I even managed to find quiet corners where I was completely alone, able to meditate and practice Qigong. By the time I was leaving the complex around midday, it was already significantly busier. Many visitors were taking endless series of photos, so in some areas you can barely walk through without constantly stepping into someone's shot. Verdict: the most beautiful at sunset, but the most practical and least crowded early in the morning. Tanah Lot blends reality with legend. One story says, Nirartha was asked to leave by locals but refused and used his spiritual power to move land into the sea, creating the rock the temple stands on. Below the temple are caves inhabited by black and white sea snakes, considered sacred. They are highly venomous but believed to have never harmed a human. Tourists can view them up close, but always under the supervision of local guides, who emphasize their sacred nature. Another mystery is a freshwater spring beneath the temple, just meters from the ocean. It is used in purification rituals and seen as proof of the site's spiritual power. The best way to get there is by your own bike. If you're taking a taxi, watch out for this. You can easily get there using apps like Gojek or Grab, but getting back is another story. Drivers from these apps usually won't pick you up there due to local agreements that prevent them from operating in the area. Instead, only car transport is offered on-site, and it's significantly overpriced. Even if you manage to call a bike taxi, there's often a local security guard, an unpleasant, overly assertive guy who will tell your driver not to pick you up. He'll insist you either take his car or walk about 2 kilometers away before a bike taxi is allowed to collect you. I saw several tourists forced to walk this distance. I managed to negotiate with a passing driver. We agreed I'd walk a bit first, and once we were out of sight of the security guard, he picked me up.